This video is a replay of a trade I took today. Now, it probably goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. I am not a financial advisor, and trading entails risk. Just because I got these results today doesn't mean that I can get these every day, nor that you can. Remember, the entire premise of the investing project and the $1 million experiment is that I am not an expert, and yet I am learning how to do this. So for heaven's sake, don't just blindly copy me. Instead, find a mentor, someone who is an expert, and join their community. Pay for their mentorship. This approach has worked very well for me, and it likely will for you too. So use this video partly as education and partly as inspiration. After all, if I can learn this, you can too.
All right, so this is a was an interesting day. We had this ceasefire announced in Iran, which resulted in a huge run up. As you can see, this is in the overnight hours, and this is the 60-minute that I'm pointing to right here. And you can see that as the market opened at 6 a.m. Pacific, there was a big red bar down. Now I could have reasonably bought the this 60-minute bar, but the problem with it is that it was just so big. I would have had to risk, I don't know, close to 200 NQ points, each of which is worth $2. So that's like $200 of risk. Sorry, $400 of risk to get into that trade, and that just wasn't worth it. So what I ended up doing is at 11:19 Pacific time, I got in on the break of this red hourly bar where I could get in with about 100 handles of risk. So that's still $200, which is a bit more than the 75 or so that I like to risk when I'm trading for the $1 million experiment. But because I'm trading on the 1 hour here, the probability of follow through is generally higher. So so I'm willing to take a little bit more risk, but I'm not willing to trade two contracts. I'm only willing to trade one. So let me put that in there at one. Make sure that's what that is. And I'll put this back in. And yes, one contract. That way, I'm willing to take that amount of risk, uh, as long as I'm pretty highly confident that there's going to be follow through, which generally is the case when I'm trading on the hourly bars. At least I've found it that way. So let's let this go, and we'll follow it through, and we'll see how this unfolds. Okay, so now we're in, and we can see that it's got about 100 handles of risk here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to look at this on the 5 minute. And the reason I'm going to look at it on the 5 minute is because I plan to follow, as soon as this goes 50 handles in the right direction, I'm going to start to follow the stop down on the basis of following the 5 minute bars, because I fully expect at some point it's going to find a base and bounce back up again. And I don't want to give back too much in the way of profit. So now that it's moved in the right direction, 50 handles, I'm going to now keep an eye on this, and I'm going to just jump this ahead a little bit to the end of the last bar, and it's moving ahead on its own, so that's good. You can see that it's actually moving quite well. Now I'm going to pause this for a quick second here. What I did in actual fact is I ended up taking about 90 handles when I did this. Now, I actually entered a few points late, but I ended up taking 90 handles. And so if I'm at 63 and this is at 993, I think I was at 13. So I ended up taking it, no, sorry, 83. So I ended up getting out right about here because that's not true. I was actually 90 handles further. I think I took it out at 73 because I ended up getting 90 points. So let me do it. Anyway, I'll let this play here and hit play. Okay, so I ended up getting 90 points, which is just about $180. So 177 and change is what I think I ended up with after commissions. But that was just me following this down by moving down to the top of each of the 5 minute bars. And then I just moved, this bar was pretty big, so I actually followed it into the bar a little bit and then just made sure that I'd locked in at least 90 points. I was actually briefly toying with the idea of trying to grab 100, but I wanted to give it room just in case it had more downside to go. But at least I locked in 90, $180 for a quick little run. So there we are.